Hello everyone and welcome back to our Unreal Engine Blueprint tutorial series. In this episode, we're going to explore the power of interfaces by creating interactable objects. In our first episode, we covered the basics of using interfaces in Unreal Engine. We created a simple interface to display character health, mana, and velocity using text renders. If you haven't seen that episode yet, I highly recommend checking it out first. Before we dive into today's episode, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps support the content and ensures you don't miss any future episodes. So let's dive in. In this episode, we're going to expand on our interface system. We'll learn how to use interfaces to interact with objects in the game world, affecting the player's health, mana, and the environment. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up that interface that we created in the previous video. This is where we're sending our health, mana, and the velocity currently. We're going to add two new functions here. We're going to say increase health, decrease health. Let's actually go ahead and add the rest of, for mana, let's do mana. Let's say increase mana and decrease mana. Go ahead and compile and save that. We also want to add a input parameter for each of these. So we're going to say input. This is going to be a float. And we're going to name this one, each of these will be named amount. This will be the amount that we're adding or decreasing. Last one. Go ahead and compile and save that again. So now we're going to open up our character blueprint. If you don't remember where that's at, I have it open, but we'll go to it this way. Go into your advanced locomotion system, your blueprints, character logic, and we want to update the base character, which is the parent of the Animan. And the character blueprint is where we're going to handle the logic for increasing and decreasing health and mana. Let's get us an open area down here. We'll double click increase health, and this will give us that function in the interface. This amount will be set by the object that you're going to interact with later. So for now, we'll grab the player's health, bring it out, get. We want to get that health. We're increasing, so we're going to add the amount to that. And then we actually want to then set the health directly after. Compile and save that. Next, let's go actually create an object that we can interact with to see the change. Come back out here, go to our content. Let's open up and create a blueprint class. Let's do an actor. And we're going to name this Interactable Object. Go ahead and open that up. To begin with, we want to click Class Settings. We want to go to Implemented Interfaces, and we want to add the interface, which is Character Info in Interface. Go ahead, compile and save that. Next, we want to add some sort of visible representation and a collision box. So let's go ahead and add, we'll just do a static mesh for now. Doesn't really matter what it is. We'll set it to a box. That works for now. Doesn't really matter. And now we'll add a collision, a box collision. Go ahead and move that up. Let's also make it a little bigger. And we can actually add a text so that we can see what this one will do. Let's go ahead and move this around a little bit. Lift this up and let's rename this one heal. So now that that's set up, let's go ahead and drag it into our world. Make sure the size is right. And it's not, so let's make it a little bigger. Turn this around. And then let's actually move it a little closer to our display so we can watch it update. Save all those. Now we'll go back into the interactable object, go to your event graph, and here we're actually going to update on overlap. We actually also want to add a actor end overlap. Event. So from here, we want to make sure that our character or any actor that is overlapping with this implements the interface that we have set up. So we'll say does implement interface, and we'll select our character info interface. From here, we're going to branch off of this, connect that up. And when this is true, when it is overlapping and our character implements our interface, we're going to come off and we're going to then say increase health. But before we do that, we actually want to get access to the pawn that we're using. So get player pawn, and we'll drag off this one and do increase health. And before we connect this up, we only want this to increase health one time upon entering the collision box. So from our branch, we're actually going to say DoOnce, and then we'll connect that like so. So this will send the signal to do this one time until it's reset. We'll come down here, we'll copy these two, connect these up. We want to go actor to test object, connect that to branch. And when this is true, when we end our overlap, we're going to reset this so it'll allow us to increase the health once again. Right now, we're going to hard code a value of 10 so that we can see this update, compile, save, and let's go test it out. As we enter our box, we see it goes up by 10. We'll exit. Another 10. So it looks like that's working. Next, we're going to do this for our mana. We're also going to do it for subtract, add for each of those. So let me get that set up. We actually want to rename this one to increase health. We're going to duplicate that and do decrease health. Let's move these around. Drag this one out for now. Resize. And instead of heal, we want this one to say damage. So let me open this up. We're going to go to our text render, change this to say damage. Copy, save that. We no longer want to do increase health. We actually want to call decrease health. So we'll remove this. Decrease health. And it'll do it by this amount. This is not set up in our player character yet. So we'll jump over to our player character, to our base character. Go back to where we set this up. I'm going to say decrease health. And it's going to be the amount subtract our current health. And then from there, we're going to set our health. File save, make sure decrease health. We're decreasing by 10 points. So let's now move this over. And go ahead and run this and test it. Oh, we went the wrong way. So we actually want to go to decrease health. We're decreasing by 10. Go to this. I want these to be flipped. Compile, save. And 90. Heal, go back to 100. Next, we can do the same thing for the mana just by duplicating these systems, renaming them. So I'm going to go ahead and make these copies. So let me duplicate heal, and I want to say mana up, maybe. Go into mana up, and let's change the text to say the same thing. We'll say plus mana. Or I can say, let's do, this is better. Let's do plus 5 mana. We're going to go ahead and remove this. Say increase mana. Do it by 5. Go ahead and test that out. Oh, I got to set up my character. So we'll go into our character. I need to say increase mana. We're going to add this amount to his current mana. And then update, set that amount. Now we'll go test it out again. Plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. So that's working. We'll duplicate one more time to do a decrease. Forgive the naming convention. I am way off on this. And then we're going to do -5. File save. This will be decrease mana. We're going to decrease by 5. Decrease mana. We're going to take, let's do it this way so I don't go backwards. Get mana, subtract the amount, and then we're going to set the new value to this. Let's go ahead and move these around a little bit. Like this. Now let's take mana down out right here. Turn it so we can see it. Resize. And then let's go ahead and run that. So subtract, add. So that's the basics of how you can update your character information with interactable objects with interfaces. So that's it for episode 2. Today we learned how to modify our character info interface to interact with objects in our game world to modify character stats. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper and explore more advanced ways to use interfaces for even more dynamic gameplay. We'll cover affecting the environment and adding visual features. Thanks for joining me in today's tutorial. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future episodes. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Keep creating amazing experiences in Unreal Engine. Happy developing, and I'll see you in the next episode.